Hey everyone, this is the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, 50 years ago. And while there have been a number of memorials and remembrances, no one has talked about the relevance of Dr. King's death to blacks in tech. The last frontier in battling racism is for African Americans in tech to be taken seriously only for their idea. The big problem happens continuously. A person sees that you're black, who's in tech, they make assumptions about you, they twist everything that you say because they only see their own prejudices. I'll give you an example from TechCrunch, the Crunchies party, the after party at San Francisco City Hall, and this was in 2010. There were some tongs, and there was a setup to get these kind of hors d'oeuvres and at a kiosk. And in all honesty, I had overheard a conversation. I was really 75% of my energy was paying attention to the conversation, and 25% was focused on getting the food. Okay, and so I wasn't thinking about what I was using. You know, I was just kind of, I was doing this, right? And I was turned my head, and then all of a sudden this dude says, white dude with glasses and, you know, some way too tight shirt, says, well, you know, there's a certain technique and certain intellect that goes with working these tongs. And I remember shuddering, like, gee, did he actually say that? And then the next 3 seconds of my brain was occupied with, should I respond? And then after 3 seconds, my conclusion was there would be nothing to gain from even expending energy. I simply ignored him. But obvious by the fact that I'm telling you this, what was on my mind was, why would he even think to say that? What was going through his mind? And it's like the subconscious thing where he feels like he has to say that, hey, you're a black guy, you're not smart, da da da. And I'm thinking, okay, if he thinks that, he's definitely not somebody I want to know. And then there's Kara Swisher of Recode, all right, who fancies herself a tech journalist, who, when she discusses someone, you know, or a black, or with blacks in tech, all right, it's about a black issue, like diversity, okay? But then, even then, it's not with a man, it's with a woman. Just saying, okay? I say this pointedly because in 2009, I playfully called myself teasing her about Twitter, saying that Twitter actually isn't, because she was attacking Twitter for being this simple thing. I said, no, Twitter is not simple, it's actually complex. I said nothing nasty, okay? But she used that simple tweet from me to go on attack of me and say, well, take that down, and, you know, and I actually had written a playful post about it. She got mad and everything else. It wasn't anything to get angry about. But I was correct. There is a system to the interrelationship of people on Twitter with respect to country, with respect to time. Marketers now understand that. A lot of people do. That's what I was hinting at the time. But rather than give me the respect of saying, well, Zinni, what do you mean? She attacked me. And then went so far as to try to get the editors, or editor, of sfgate.com, the website of the San Francisco Chronicle, to take down my post, which generated only a chuckle. Actually, a pretty loud guffaw from Kevin Skaggs at the time. We kind of had fun with that one. It wasn't necessary at all. Or take today, just a moment ago, on King's 50th anniversary, Ms. Swisher writes this post about the YouTube tragedy. I explained to her that it was slightly off because I felt that some people, and this is my experience as a vlogger on YouTube for 12 years, there's been a rise in YouTubers complaining about what's happened with their videos with respect to something called restricted mode. I in no way I'm really upset with what happened. I have a number of friends at YouTube. I'm one of YouTube's first generation of partners, which I put in this whole twist, I think it was something like 12 blocks of tweets, but Miss Wisher, being the kind of person that thinks in a sort of a get out mode with respect to somebody black like me, didn't bother to read that. Just read one thing, thought about it was me, and just said, okay, bad. See what I'm getting at? There's a lot of that goes on. That's the new racism in tech. It's like, let's cast you. What's kind of new, but really, if you think about it in terms of the age of Silicon Valley, it's kind of old. But it's new with respect to the types of racism that exist. But the idea is, well, let's just discredit you and devalue what you say and cast it either as incorrect or bad or some combination of both if you're black. That's common. Or let's take the number of people out there, African American, who are working on startups, starting them, having a difficult time, have ideas, have great approaches, should be getting more money steered to them, but are not. And we're in a situation where someone who raises $1 million who's black is called a unicorn? No, that shouldn't be. And yet that's the case. Like someone's lowering the bar. The bottom line is you have VCs out there that kind of say, oh, they don't even see you. Or maybe they assume that you're the security or the helper or something like that. That's how stupid people are. It really is. So you say, what do we do to combat that? The easy answer is to point out these problems, as I'm doing, where they exist, and then for blacks to team up with people who don't see them, in that way, us in that way, who have enough respect for us to talk. I mean, that's what I like about, for example, Michael Arrington of TechCrunch, Could always approach Michael and talk to him about something. Even though Michael has been attacked in certain ways, like roundly, but I chose not to pay attention to that and got to know Michael, right? I can say that about, for example, Marissa Mayer, who I met in 2010 at TechCrunch Disrupt New York, the first one. I can go on and on and on and on. Trinity Ventures, Alex Oladinsky, I can go on and on and on. There are a number of examples of great people who do not follow the model that I'm talking about, a very sad model. But the next frontier in tech is this. If you see someone black, don't approach them only when you have a diversity issue in tech. Approach them because they have something to say, and more than likely an idea that just very well may change the world.